All right, so I've got a couple of challenging product rule problems. These include chain rule. So if you haven't done chain rule yet, this is probably not the section for you. All right. Remember that the product rule says that if we have two functions of x multiplied together, call them g and h, that the derivative of the product is g prime h plus h prime g. Okay, so in this first one, right, for example, this parentheses would be g, the sine function would be h. Okay, so that's the process we're going to follow. All right, so we are going to do f prime of x, and that is equal to the derivative of the first piece, derivative of x cubed minus 4x, which is 3x squared minus 4 times h, so the second piece as it is. So sine of x squared plus 7, we will keep that the same. Then we add, okay, now we're going to keep the first piece the same, so we're going to just write x cubed minus 4x. Then we're going to take the derivative of the second piece here, the sine of x squared plus 7. We're going to have to use the chain rule on this because it is not just sine of x. We turn it into cosine x squared plus 7, and then multiply by the derivative of what is inside the parentheses, which is 2x. Okay, and that is your derivative here. Okay. For the next problem, all right, we've got tan of x cubed, so we're going to have to use the chain rule for that. We're also have e to the 3x squared minus 6x, which we are going to have to use the chain rule for as well when we differentiate it. Okay, so f prime of x equals, we'll take the derivative of the first piece. Remember, using the power rule, we bring down the 3, rewrite the inside, reduce the power by 1. Then we have to multiply by the derivative of what's in here. Derivative of tangent is secant squared. So secant squared x. And then we multiply it by the second piece, the h function, which we keep exactly the same. Okay, and despite all that fun we just had, we're not quite done yet. Now we're going to keep this piece the same and multiply by the derivative of the second piece. So now we're just going to add tan of x cubed and the derivative of e to the 3x squared minus 6x, right? We keep it the same. And then multiply by the derivative of this piece, which has two terms, so I'm going to write a parentheses, and that's going to be 6x minus 6. Okay, so that's that. You can factor out, if you wanted to write it a little more simply, you could factor out some of the common things in these terms. So we've got tan of x squared, which we could factor out from here as well. And we've got this e to the 3x squared minus 6x, which also appears here. And actually, they both have a 3 in them because there's a 3 here and there's a 3 implied by this 6. So if we wanted, we could, let's see, write it as 3 tan of x squared e to the 3x squared minus 6x, and then times what's left over in this term here. So what's left over in this term is just the secant squared. Okay, and then what's left over in this term, we've got a single tangent. And then the 2x minus 2. So we could write that as 2 tangent x times x minus 1. Okay, so kind of nasty, but that was the point of this. All right, so hopefully you guys followed that, and I will see you in the next video.